everybody, thanks for coming to watch the show. Doing something a little bit different on the channel today, talking to you guys about a show I just started watching, which is Cobra Kai on Netflix. This was actually a YouTube Premium show, or maybe a YouTube Red at that point. Originally, when it was first released, it was only on YouTube. And I remember seeing the ads for it a couple of years ago when it was coming out, and I've never been like a huge fan of the Karate Kid franchise. I've watched the original, and I watched the remake with Jackie Chan, and I liked both of those, but I never was like a huge super fan of the franchise or anything. So when I saw this show being advertised, I don't know if it was just that I'm not a YouTube Premium subscriber, so I was just like, well, I can't watch that because I'm not paying for another subscription service, or just not being a huge fan. But for one reason or another, I never checked out the show. But I do have Netflix, and so I saw that this show was just picked up, and it's actually #1 in the US right now, where Netflix is doing their top 10 thing. So it was the first thing I saw when Netflix, when I opened it up last night. So I was like, well, I'll check this out, because the episodes are only like 20 to 30 minutes long, so I'm not really going to be investing that much. And, I liked Karate Kid enough to check out at least one episode. So this isn't going to be like an in-depth review of the whole series or anything like that. I only watched the first 5 episodes of it, but I really enjoyed what I did see. I think that they've taken these characters from the original movie and really kind of picked up exactly where you would kind of expect them to be after all this time. And it's very interesting the things that they do with these characters. They've done a lot of kind of character role reversal. I'll get more into that as we talk about what's going on. But I think one of the things that really drew me in initially was that these are actually the original actors from the movie. They've got Ralph Macchio reprising his role as Daniel, and they've got William Zabka that's reprising his role as Johnny. So it's really cool to see these guys come back to these iconic roles that they were very well known for in the Karate Kid. I don't know if I would say that this is quite as monumentous of a reprisal as, say, like Mark Hamill coming back to play Luke Skywalker, or something like that. But it is always really cool to see the original actors come back and kind of step right back into the shoes of a character that they're very well known for, because neither of the actors that were in Karate Kid really did a whole lot of acting work after the movie. So I'm not, I don't know if that was by choice, or they just they couldn't find work, or what have you. But either way, they're very well known for those roles. So it's really cool to see these guys come back, and they're both close to 60. I think Ralph Macchio is a couple years older than William Zabka, but they look really good for their age. And, they do a little bit of karate in the show, as you would hope and expect. And it doesn't seem like kind of unbelievable, or just like a couple of old guys like throwing kicks in the nursing home or something bad like that. So you can get invested in the action, and it's believable. So that's a definite plus as well. So to give you like a brief overview of the story that I have gotten so far in my 5 episodes, we pick up with Johnny basically being just a classic loser, just a screw up. He's got doesn't have a good job. He still is very rooted in the 80s. All he watches is like 80s movies, and he listens to 80s music, and he drives a car from the 80s, and he lives in this crappy apartment, and he's like an alcoholic, and he's just like a deadbeat dad. So he's basically like, if you had a list of all the loser things that you could do and ways to ruin your life, it's like he's done every single one. And he's just kind of, it's very big departure from the way that we saw him in the Karate Kid. And we also see Daniel as a very successful guy. He's got like a big house and some nice cars and a beautiful family, and he runs a successful auto dealership. He's got billboards all over town with his big stupid face on it, and he's doing like this, his tagline is "We kick the competition," and he's got these dumb like karate kick billboards with his legs sticking way out, and it's just kind of like dumb and cheesy in the same way that you would kind of expect the Karate Kid to be. So it's really cool to see the way that they've kind of continued these characters in new ways, but ways that make sense. So as the name would suggest, the show is mostly about Johnny and his journey to revive the Cobra Kai dojo, because he meets this nerdy, kind of down on his luck kid that lives in the apartment complex with him. And I wouldn't say that he like takes him under his wing in the same way that Mr. Miyagi did for Daniel, but he kind of begrudgingly allows him to come and kind of help him set up the Cobra Kai dojo, as well as take some lessons from him so he can just kind of boost his confidence and deal with some bullies that he's having at school. But we also see Daniel dealing with, you know, the pitfalls of being like a successful business owner and how he's handling like, you know, competition kind of messing with him with his car dealership, as well as, you know, the personal relationships he has with his family. You know, he has a daughter that's getting involved with some kind of, you know, some unsavory people. There's a guy that he doesn't really like that she's trying to date. And, you know, it's a thing that we've seen before in movies where the dad doesn't like the daughter's boyfriend, and, you know, she thinks he's great, and etc. But, you know, it's a cool kind of concept to see him dealing with that. And he also has a son. The boy doesn't really get a whole lot of screen time. He's basically just kind of like the stereotypical modern kid on TV, where he just he's a little bit overweight, and he plays a lot of video games. And I feel like if you're the Karate Kid and you're like, you know, you were kind of just this cool 80s guy, I guess you could say, and your kid is like this, you know, stereotypical fat video game kid, I guess, for lack of better words, that would probably be a little bit disappointing to see. But, you know, it's also a little bit disappointing for me watching the show to see the kids basically just be a stereotypical kid number 1 and 2, because a lot of shows, you know, the kids really fall into like a few different roles, where they can either be like a spoiled brat, or they can just be like super entitled, which I guess would kind of go into the first category, or they're just like just criminals basically, or like a shut-in. So there's not a whole lot of avenues for shows to take as far as kids being portrayed, it seems like. And so I wish they had done a little bit more original things with them. But thankfully the kids aren't like a huge part of the show, and it mainly focuses on Johnny and Daniel. Something I will say is a real accomplishment for this show, and a testament to the actors and the writing talent, is that, you know, we see these two characters. One is an iconic underdog, like you know, Daniel was in the Karate Kid, and then Johnny was this iconic like villain bully. And you know, I doubt like anybody liked this character when they saw the movie. And whether or not he was a bully or a bad guy because of the way his sensei was kind of like goading him on and telling him to, you know, show no mercy or whatever, you know, he was still his own person, and he made his own choices, and he chose to be a jerk most of the time. But within the first few minutes of seeing this character on the Cobra Kai show, I really just completely changed how I felt about him. I just was like, wow, I really feel bad for Johnny. Like, he's obviously made some bad decisions, and he's messed up his own life, but I feel bad for him. I'm rooting for Johnny now. And, you know, you still root for Daniel, but Daniel's got, you know, everything going for him, basically. So all of his problems, I would say, really pale in comparison to Johnny's. So it's almost like Daniel is more the villain now, and Johnny is kind of the guy that you're rooting for. So I think that that's a real testament to the way that they were able to craft this show, because, you know, like I said, these are very iconic characters tied to a specific role, and the way that they were able to change that is pretty awesome. So in the few episodes that I've seen, I definitely think this has a lot of potential, and it's a very enjoyable show. It's an easy watch. You know, the episodes, like I said, are only 20 to 30 minutes long, so you're not really investing a whole lot of time. I would definitely recommend that you check it out if you're a fan of the Karate Kid, or you're just kind of looking for an easy show to watch, a little bit of a pick-me-up right now. You know, everybody could use that during these really weird times that everybody's going through. It remains to be seen whether this show is going to be quite as much of like a feel-good story as the original Karate Kid, but so far, the way that it's headed, I think it's definitely going to be close to that same feeling. So if you're looking for a fun, easy watch, definitely check out Cobra Kai on Netflix. It's got 2 seasons, 20 episodes, and I think Netflix is going to be renewing it. You know, they definitely are seeing the success that it's having, so if they weren't planning on doing that when they purchased it from YouTube, then they're definitely, I would say, going to be doing that now. So definitely check it out, and if you liked this, please subscribe. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more stuff like this, just kind of impressions and reviews on like movies and shows and stuff like that. So if you are into that and you care about what I have to say about them, then definitely stick around and see what else I'm going to be putting out. But I appreciate you coming to watch this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy Cobra Kai if you check it out. And we'll see you in the next video.